What's up, everyone? So I wanted to do a video to discuss some of the big news going on in Shadowverse. I'm going to talk about the two main topics and then basically how I feel about it. Is it going to affect me at all? What am I going to do in terms of videos, things of that nature. So let's get right into it. So the two main things going on in Shadowverse is one, the sequel, Worlds Beyond, has been delayed. It was supposed to come out summer of 2024, and then it actually got delayed until it looks like spring of 2025 is what's going around right now. So that's a topic that's been kind of going around Shadowverse. Some creators have mentioned a few things about how it's affecting them and whatnot. The other news that kind of goes along with this is that it's not really news, it's just kind of a fact. Shadowverse has basically ended. The story's done, and the actual release of new packs is all done. So we're not getting any more new card sets. There's going to be no more story. Shadowverse is basically finished. However, you can still play Shadowverse, so we're going to be kind of talking about them both, because it goes hand in hand. Now, the sequel was ideally going to come out shortly after, the end of, the story and the end of releasing new packs. So we're probably going to get originally maybe a month or two worth of, throwback rotation, and then we'd be allowed to basically jump into the new Shadowverse. It would have timed perfectly, to be perfectly honest, and people would have been really not happy about it. Unfortunately, with the delay in the story and everything being done, there's not going to really be any new content for a long time. The idea now is that until the sequel for Shadowverse comes out, we're going to have to basically play, the throwback rotation and any other Grand Prix that come along the way between now and who knows how many months at this point. So I guess we'll start up with my personal reaction. I'll be real, it didn't really faze me. I wasn't really disappointed. It really didn't bother me at all, and I'll explain why. Now, I will say that this is the only card game that I'm actively playing right now, but the reason that it doesn't really affect me is that I play a variety of other games. For anyone who's actually seen my channel, I play, a lot of gacha games. And outside of gacha games, I also play RPGs on the Switch, specifically turn-based or strategy RPGs. That's more my thing. So I have plenty of stuff to do. Plus, I work full-time, and I'm also on dialysis, so I got a lot going on. It's not like I'm going to be bored. I'm fine. And as far as content is concerned, it doesn't really affect me because I have other games that I make content for, so I'm not a strictly Shadowverse kind of channel. I'm more of a variety, so that's why it really doesn't affect me at all. Now, as far as how does it affect, content going forward? Well, for me personally, in terms of Shadowverse specifically, I'll still, post a few matches here and there of any kind of this deck versus that deck kind of scenario. I'll still be doing that every now and then. They're not going to be on any scheduled time frame. It's just kind of whenever something interesting comes up, I'll upload a video. That's pretty much going to be it. The other thing that I am going to do on a more consistent basis is, since we are doing throwback rotation, I'm going to be posting my opinions on the current format of throwback rotation based off of what I play. And I'll give you an example once I talk about what's currently going on in throwback rotation. You'll see how my opinions are, where I'm at, and that'll kind of give you the idea of what I'm going to be doing basically every month. So every month, I believe they're going to be changing the throwback rotation format. And what throwback rotation is basically it's going to be the full rotation set, mini expansion and all, for a certain number of sets every month. So the month of July, we're currently going through a rotation, and then once August starts, we're going to go through another set of rotation, and that's going to be the throwback. It's going to be all like older sets that we're going to be able to play with. And my understanding is any kind of bans or limitations that were in effect during that rotation will be in effect. Also, if there is a nerf or a buff that's happened at the end of the regular rotation, it will also apply to Unlimited as well. So, for example, whenever we get to the point to where City of Gold gets, nerfed again, it'll also be nerfed in Unlimited. So if you're playing certain decks in Unlimited that rely on specific cards that get nerfed from time to time, it's also going to affect how you play your Unlimited decks too. You may have to swap if it really kills the deck, which definitely does happen. So hopefully that'll kind of give you guys an idea of what throwback rotation is all about and how it's going to affect the game. Now, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts on July's throwback rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the shop so you can kind of see. Actually, no, I don't think it works that way. Let's go to cards and then decks and then throwback rotation. And we're going to pretend that we're going to make a new deck. All right. And we'll just pretend that we're going to do Forest. Why not? So basically, the sets that are currently being used in this throwback rotation is Ultrasphere, Rebellion, Glory, Verdant, and Colosseum. So that means that we're only going to, in this particular format of throwback rotation, these are the sets that are allowed for all classes and, of course, neutral as well. So, with that being said, how am I doing? How do I feel about this current format? I have mixed feelings about it. I would say at a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I give this a 7. Not one of my favorites, and I'll explain why. So for those who don't know, the main 3 classes that I play are Haven, Dragon, and Portal. Those are my main 3. Unfortunately, all 3 of these classes, for me personally, are not fun. I don't like the decks at all for all 3 of them. Now, granted, when for Haven, I did like the idea of Elena, but it just wasn't good enough without, combining it with either Lomonia or Wilbert. And even then, it's still difficult to kind of pilot, and if you don't get the right cards at the right time, the deck just falls apart to anything that's actually good. It's just not consistent at all. Portal, Float Portal is a fun deck, but it's not consistent. You need certain cards at certain times to kind of help deal with the board, and if you don't have it, you're just behind and you lose. You can't get to the win conditions. And Dragon, I never liked Natura Dragon, to be real with you guys. I didn't like it at all. I tried to just do regular Ramp Dragon, and with the way that these sets are, it doesn't work either. It kind of sucks. There's no real strong win condition. It's just not good at all. You're basically forced to play Natura, and I just don't like it. So with the main 3 classes out, basically, I have to go back to my 4th favorite class, which is Forest. Now, I don't really play a lot of Forest, I'll be real with you guys, but this was the season that I was really into Greenwood, and this is the only deck that I can actually do somewhat decent with. Now, granted, you have to, understand your matchups and know when to hold back certain plays or whatnot, but for the most part, it's the only deck that I can enjoy. But the reason that this is a 7 out of 10 is that if I can't enjoy the 3 classes I like the most, it's kind of a bad set. However, there is one deck that I am enjoying playing right now, which is the only reason it gets a 7 and not worse. So that's kind of where I'm at. And what I'm going to be doing every month is sometime within that month, I don't know what week it'll be, but I'll basically talk about the current format and throwback rotation, let you know what decks I'm playing, am I having fun, things of that nature. But yeah, as far as this particular throwback rotation, not one of my favorites. The only thing that keeps it from being a failure is the fact that I can play Force. Now, there are other classes that do extremely well, but they're just not classes that I play, which is why I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not the expert on those classes. But those are more or less my thoughts. And I wanted to give you guys my perspective just because, I'm obviously different from all the other creators out there. And, it's nice to get a variety of opinions to kind of give everybody ideas. Because every time you listen to someone different, you might think, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. And I want to be able to do that. Hopefully for some of you, you might have heard something and been like, oh, yeah, I forgot about this particular deck. That was a fun deck. Or, just whatever it is that was different compared to others. I hope that maybe there was something different that I brought up that no one else has already. I haven't necessarily listened to everybody because I don't really watch all the creators out there. But I just think it's good to get a variety of perspectives on any given topic, just because it's fun and sometimes you can learn something. But I guess that's going to be my thoughts for now. Like I said, I'm going to continue to make Shadowverse videos. If there's any interesting matches, I'll show them off. And then every month, I will give my thoughts on the current throwback rotation format. And yeah, that's going to be it for me. So hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Take care.